Here we are. Cheers. Episode 21. I was bragging on us today.
Well, I mean, we're in the 1%. We talked about one
Pretty cool.
percenters.
I know.
And both you and I today had people talk to us about, I want to start a podcast. And we're like,
We're experts now.
you got it. It was so good.
I did. I was like, you got to do it.
So much we can
Yeah,
teach you.
I said, it's just not much work at all. And it is work.
Well, that's
But-
what I told the group that asked me. They were like, we should do a podcast. I said, listen,
Yeah.
it feels like it's just sit and talk, which is what we thought.
Right.
And it's not. It's a lot of
Right.
work.
I mean, I've had to dig in a whole lot more doing this than
Why is that? Do you think? Like when you
I
and I would
think-
hold each other accountable, I would still do the Bible study.
I
like,
know, but I feel like we could talk each other out of like the accountability part,
Mhm.
right? Like, I had a busy week, or or oh yeah, that's great. I'm glad you did that. I didn't really get to that. Or like in a bigger Bible study group, I could get really lazy.
Yeah.
And show up and be like,
Yeah.
you guys just talk.
Yeah.
And I
You're right.
interject something. And I feel like so much more responsible for.
And I feel accountable. Like
Yeah.
somebody can call me out on it.
Right.
It's like,
I might not know what I'm talking
Or
about,
if we say
believe it
something
or not.
wrong, like it's the middle of the Bible's not Psalms 119. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to get called out. That's not right. So
Why did we start that?
I don't
conversation?
know. I was close, 118. But there is a higher level accountability
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think
out
so.
there.
Right. Exactly.
And so that makes me have to really study more, which anytime we study more, it's going to be more powerful because that's obviously how the Holy Spirit
It
works.
definitely has been that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
it's definitely,
And
been that.
Psalms
and
is
so
no
we should talk
doubt.
about that. Yeah, we should. We had our little life session and we
Mhm.
talked about how we weren't so sure about this. And both of us picked the same psalm, which was number 1, which was,
because it
I
was
don't-
easy. I don't know. I didn't know how.
we
I didn't want to get deep into it.
Right.
Psalms
It's
1's
like,
my favorite.
I only read Psalm 1
Yeah.
because it was, then I don't have to read Psalm 2 because I picked my favorite as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, there was a little, I don't, but I've learned a lot. I mean, I have sort of had to force myself initially. I was definitely forcing myself to have to read
Mhm.
these things. And I say things because that's how I did it, right? It was like, okay, I just read it, check, read it, check. And I'm sort of more enjoying it now. And I'm taking a little bit of a moment every morning and I'm sitting outside and I'm thinking, wow, God created that,
Mhm.
which like I don't do ever,
Mhm.
right? Ever.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to enjoy the miraculousness of all of that.
I'm trying to. I mean, again, we had Mike Olson as our
Yes,
last
we can talk about
legend.
that. Yeah, what'd you think
Um,
about having a boy? He's a man.
yeah, little boy. Sorry, Pastor Mike.
Yeah.
I think Pastor Olson's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I walked away from that legend session,
Legend session, yes.
with a confirmed belief that men and women are so different.
Yeah.
Which we know, right? And
Right.
men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Men
Right.
are like waffles, women are like spaghettis. We talk about it all the time. In this podcast, I think our heartbeat is really to reach women. And so it's very geared that way. So then having a man, I think, was not awkward, but like different. It just
Yeah.
was a different
definitely
perspective.
Different perspective, definitely different dynamic.
Different
You
dynamic.
know, I mean, he did those little cheers things with his
Right.
pink cup. I was very proud of
did.
him.
He did
just
so
stepped
well.
up
Yes,
and did
so
his
well.
and did his thing. But it was definitely like every other legend session that we've had was just also sort of giggly, right?
And they understood you. Like you'd say
Right.
something, they'd be like,
Oh,
"Oh
right.
yeah," ha, ha, ha. And I felt like he can understand it,
Right.
Because he
I
doesn't.
think that's right.
he-
You got really quiet there for a couple of minutes
Well,
where it was just because I think that's right. Like you can't necessarily explain how we're processing
Right.
these things.
And no
Good or
doubt,
bad.
I mean, Pastor Olson, not only is it a male-female dynamic, our personalities are polar opposites. Like
Yes.
you and I are
Right,
on
right.
this side of the spectrum and Pastor Olson's on this side, which is why we invited him because we're
Yeah.
in the Psalms. And
It's not our thing.
to our credit, I think we recognize that it isn't our thing.
Yes.
And so we wanted to bring in an expert. And who better than, Pastor
A
Olson,
worship-
who's the greatest worship pastor of the greatest church in the world.
Right.
So we were like, this
Right.
is great.
This is perfect.
I don't know why I was expecting it to go different because we clearly just see things differently.
He could not believe. I thought that was funny that neither of us like poetry. He was like, what?
Yeah. Or just that we don't sit in it the way that he
Yeah.
sits in it.
Yeah.
And when I got quiet, I think that was part of it. I love to debate. Surprise, surprise, right? I mean, I thrive in the debate world.
Yes.
And I have to be careful on the podcast not to do that, in the sense of that's not what this platform is for necessarily. And I could feel in that conversation that he and I just probably fundamentally disagree on some things that, not biblical, but just ways we go about things, we do things. And I could feel myself wanting to just start debating for the sake of debating, because I just love it. Like, I love to learn. I love to hear your side. I want to know why. And I'll always be the one to push back. And I found myself in that interview twice going, I'm going to push back a little bit. And I thought, oh, I don't want this to be the place for that. This is just a place for, I don't know. And so I think I tried to just be like, this isn't the place for it. But I would love to have another conversation with him, though, at some point, and be like, no, wait a minute.
Because I do think we, like you said, there's the male-female thing, so we approach things differently. Right. And then he's an artist.
Right.
And we're not.
I know.
So we approach things differently. But I thought we got to some cool stuff. I mean,
sure.
I have thought about him so many times since we were with him doing that recording as I've read them. I've been like, okay, Mike is right. I need this. This hit me probably hardest in the books and the themes that we've had in what I've had to make adjustments to. So I don't want everybody to think like that this is just about, we're over here regurgitating everything that we know. I mean, we're studying hard for this stuff. And I think taking on some hard stuff for us. We would not have chosen.
It's a good point. Probably why it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We talk about management. Like that's in our wheelhouse, right? Calling. That's in our wheelhouse.
Right.
So everything we've talked about up to this point has been
hospitality
topics or conversations that we're maybe not great at, but we're comfortable with.
Right.
The Psalms, again, I'm pointing, you picked this. I'm not sure
why.
I
think I did. I'm not sure. It just showed up on my computer.
I did, but this, I agree, has been the hardest topic for me personally. Yeah. And I agree that Pastor Olson pushed my buttons a little bit in a good way.
Yeah.
And we both went home and talked to our husbands about it. And they're like, how did it go? And I was like, it was just different. But that's probably why, because it stirred some things in me.
Which is what
moved me. Right. Moved me to do some things that I was like, I don't want to do that.
Right. And he said, they're supposed to move you.
Right.
And I was like,
I didn't want to be moved.
Yeah.
But
I liked where
it has. I mean, it has forced me. I think you might have said it too in that. Like, let's just start reading one a day.
Yeah.
When we talked to him. Because I was just kind of like, I don't like the Psalms. And I think you kind of said, let's just 150 of them. Let's just do one a day. And I thought, fine.
I noticed how you started with 90. Because you're going to do it for 10 days. You're like, okay, well, I did it for one day, but I finished them because I started at 90.
No, I started at 90 because God is so good. God is so funny. God is so funny. We were doing Psalms, and and we'll talk about it a little bit with our laughter part of Psalms. We clearly didn't want to do this, and I pushed back, and God just laughed in my face, as I know he did with yours in the last couple of weeks. In the middle of this, my daughter, who leads an online forum, it's called Restoring Eden, and she takes young women through different things. She posts the same day, hey ladies, for the month of August, we're going to go through the book of Psalms together. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Where
I don't even know. She lives 8 hours away. Like, this was not a conversation. She did not know we were doing Psalms. She just puts out in her whole online world, we're going to do Psalms. And she's like, we're going to do book 4. So she's like, every day we're going to start in book 4. And so then I was like, fine, I'll do book 4 with her.
You were going to say fine.
I was like, so I called her and said that, and she is much more of a creative than I am. Yeah. Although she is very type A too. She's actually got a great balance, but she loves to sit in the Psalms and the analogies and the similes and all things, all that. And so she was like, no, the Psalms are my favorite place. And I was like, bleh. So I started in the book 4 of Psalms 90 because that's where she's at with all of her little friends.
So you could just end faster
and get through quicker. I'm skipping the first 89.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm kind of going through it with her for this month and her friends.
Okay. That's nice. How's it going? Because you're already like on the 12th day.
I am. And
no, today's not the 12th in
and I don't think I started it with her when she started it. So I'm literally, I just did 90. I think this morning I was on 96.
they just talk about it, or does she put out like a
They
curriculum?
don't even talk about it because it's all on her. She has an Instagram page called Restoring Eden.
Oh, so they're not even together.
So they're not even together. She just says, if anybody wants it, I'm going to kind of put out my reading series for the month.
Nice.
And then she kind of makes a post about what she got out of it. And then people comment on, I got this and I got that. So it's really just an online.
Oh, I did. That's cool. I didn't know she did that.
It's really, really cool. I mean, she was
Good
amazing.
for her.
So, but so funny that she was in Psalms while we were doing this. I was like, all right, Lord, I hear you.
Yeah.
It was definitely a,
Well, and I think like, we had our challenges this month that we can laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing funnier than you Googling the angry Psalms. Like,
so
I don't think we
angry this
talked
month.
about that.
I was
I mean,
so
I
angry.
think that was hysterical. I didn't even know you could do that. Like, I never would have thought to Google the angry Psalms, but.
And I don't know if I would have had we not been in the Psalms.
Yeah,
but I think my world started crashing, and I say crashing, so figuratively,
here we
it's
are
nothing.
standing.
I mean, it's amazing. But some things started happening in my life right after we did the first week of Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of came into the first week of Psalms, and we're like, Psalms 1. We're like a tree planted, we have an abundant life. And I was kind of like, whatever. And then the world just kind of crashed on me. Just stupid stuff. I mean, none of it in and of itself was major, but it was just one thing after the other that just kept happening.
Like you got a ticket and your kid had issues and then your other kid had issues. Like, it's not like major, but it's major.
No, but it was when you put 100 of those on top of each other. I was like, really, Lord? Like, and it was Creed. I mean, and again, Pastor Joby, we take his phrases all the time. There's no pain like kid pain. Yeah. Creed is my middle one, and he had a tough couple of years. And he's the oldest boy. So it's Bailey Creed Cannon. So Creed's 22.
Yeah.
He's going to be a senior at college. He's had a couple years. And again, this can be a story for another day. Just football life and broken backs, and just thought I was going in this direction, and it wasn't. And it's been a journey. And he didn't make all the best decisions the last couple of years. And it's like all of a sudden, he's just
so good
trying to do it right. And he is passionate about the Lord, and he's engaged in church, and he's reading his Bible, all the stuff that as a mom, you're like, oh yes, we've been praying for this. And he's been doing so well. And so he had just this amazing opportunity for a job. And we were convinced, of course, because if I was God, this would be the perfect job. And so the family knew this was the job. We were all praying for it. And I think he even kind of stepped back from applying for other jobs because this was so perfect. This is exactly what God had for him, and the way it happened. And we knew people on the board. I mean, all the stuff. And we were just waiting for the job. And he got the letter, got the email, and he didn't get the job. And it was right after we started Psalms. And I mean, I was hot because this was in a church, this amazing church, which was going to give him this opportunity to come alongside some of these amazing men that I knew were just going to pour into him. And it was great, everything. And he didn't get it. I knew the people. I mean, a life worker's on the board there. I made the calls. Like, I don't normally make the calls. Like, we did all the stuff. Yeah. And which is obviously the point. We did all the stuff. And then, I mean, it was like, I saw that as, it would have been a great time if the Lord would have listened to me. It would have been a great time in my mind to come alongside Creed and be like, you're doing so good, honey. Yeah. Like, thank you for getting it together. And look, I'm going to bless you for it. And instead, it was like a slap in the face to Creed. Like, oh, you think you're doing it right now? And then it was like, and I just, more than the job or anything, I thought, this is going to make Creed spiral again. Yeah. Like, he's going to be angry at the Lord and, and and he wasn't. I was hot. Yeah. I was so hot. And so that's what I Googled, because we were in the Psalms. And I'm like, Psalms are those highs and lows. I'm like, there's got to be an angry Psalm. So I am driving too fast, and I am Googling, what are the angry Psalms? And they came up. They gave me like 6 of them. Yeah. So I just kept playing them out loud in the car. Like, you have that one voice that reads it for you, the real deep, and God said. And I just kept doing it. That's probably not healthy, but.
It made you feel better, though.
It did. And
I mean, I will say, like, that's what I had a couple moments where I was just like, you get to the part where, like, kill all my enemies. And I'm like, yes, do that. Like, I want that. Yeah. And so,
it gave me words.
Yeah. For the emotion.
To put to my anger.
Yeah.
Which normally we are the people. I'm very good at pushing it down.
Yeah. Yes.
In the car, I'll yell or do whatever I need to. But by the time I get out of the car, smiles on.
Right.
Go do what you do.
All is well.
And this gave me Psalms gave me words to scream out, to yell out, to speak out to the Lord. And I didn't feel
like bad.
like I was like
I'm
bashing God, because these were his words I was giving back. I was literally giving back his words.
It's not like, I think that's what it taught me, is like, God knows our heart, and he gave us all those emotions. And so all this the Psalms has done is give us the words that can describe those. And yes, it feels bipolar half the time, because they start with, get rid of my enemies.
My God,
and then
why
say,
have you forsaken me? I mean,
and
those are bold words.
Those are bold words. And then praise the Lord.
Then,
right. So I think God knows that we're having those, and definitely don't share that if I don't have to, or somebody hasn't really pinpointed me on it. Like, I will hold it in. That's just what we were taught, right? And as a manager and somebody I can't come in and be like, I am so right. You just sort of got to be like, I set the culture. This is what I'm here. This is what I do. And so I think knowing that those words are there because those motions are okay made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
And that I could say them to God.
And I did. I mean, I said them to him. And then, and it was just one after the other. And it was all different stuff. So yes, it was creed stuff, but then it was stuff with my family, my extended family, stuff at work, finances.
And you got a ticket.
I got a ticket coming home at 3 a.m. I was like, what is this? It just was piling up.
Yeah.
A cannon broke his arm. 3 places playing backyard basketball. He goes in for the surgery and power goes out in the middle of his surgery. I mean, honestly, you can't make this stuff up. This has all been in a couple weeks. And you're like, Lord, for real?
Right.
For real?
Right.
And the Psalms gave me voice to that, which
that's so
thank
good.
you, Pastor Olson.
Yeah,
and,
that's so good.
Pushing me in a little bit.
Yeah. I think he did that to both of us, that I felt really good about that.
Like, I got to do it.
Sorry.
But every one of them comes back with honoring God.
Yeah.
And that's the piece that I don't want to lose in this, that the Psalms give us a voice to yell and scream and be angry. But at the end of all of it, and the last, like we talked about, the last 5 chapters even, and most of even the frustrating Psalms, it's, but God, and I want to praise the Lord, and I'm going to extol the Lord, and God understands, and God knows. And there is always a redirection in the Psalms to put your hope in God.
Yeah. And not in your circumstances, right? I mean, I think it's like, this is my circumstance. I'm so mad at this circumstance, but I know you're in control of those circumstances. And that's very comforting.
It is.
Actually.
It really has been.
It is very helpful,
been very comforting.
which is a good thing.
So what's your crazy month?
So,
I mean, how can you laugh at my month? I mean,
Andrew and I we were going from Jacksonville to Syracuse, New York, and it took us 26 hours. We were in the Atlanta airport. Andrew and I are in the Atlanta airport for 8.5 hours.
So no one should have to be in the Atlanta airport that long. That's the worst airport in the world.
But, so we use our little credit cards and go to the Sky Clubs. Guess what? They don't serve the same food. We went to 5 Sky Clubs in that 8-hour period, and just
different food at each one.
We just jumped. I'm like, they have better chocolate chip cookies than that one does. And then one had like pasta and the other had like chicken salad.
like wedding crashers. We were skybox crashers.
We just went. And then we were voting on like which had nicer staff and which had, so we made the best of it, but it took us forever. And then getting home was longer.
Why?
I don't know. I don't understand.
Delays, or
we got delayed we went to Ottawa, and then we got delayed in Syracuse. And like, we thought it couldn't be worse, right? Like going home, this is going to be a breeze.
It's got to be better than what we did. Yeah.
That's how God does, is he gives you bad and then he gives you good. And so anyway, I've never twice in the same trip gotten put on the plane and then taken off the plane.
Huh.
Yeah, happened in Syracuse, and then they moved us. Then we eventually got to Atlanta, missed our flight, blah 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 blah. So we spent the night in the Atlanta airport, and Sky Club's closed, just for FYI. But in Atlanta at 3 a.m, they put us on a plane, and we got to the runway. You're number 2 for takeoff, and the pilot comes on and says, "Just need to let all of you know that I've timed out, and we have to go back to the gate.
And he didn't know that before he got into the plane?
I don't understand how it all works. But anyway, Andrew and I were dying laughing. So we get back to the gate, and there's nobody to drive the thing from. Right?
To get the
we're looking out the window, and
the little runway
thing that comes to get you, right? Because everybody's left because it's 3 now it's like 3:20. We waited there for 45 minutes till the 4:00 people came in to work. I mean, Andrew and I are
you
dying,
can't just roll up steps
laughing.
and let you out.
I know. I was
what is so hard about that?
I really feel like I could drive that thing.
Right.
If you just let me leap across,
I
feel like I could drive
sure.
that thing. Anyway, so the thing comes in and they open the door. Flight attendant says, "Welcome to Atlanta."
Oh, you never
Atlanta. And Andrew and I just looked at each other. We just started dying.
My word.
Laughing. We're like, do they know?
We never left Atlanta.
And we've actually been in Atlanta for like 6 hours. So anyway, it was really funny. I mean, it was, we were able to laugh our way through it, and it was fine. So it wasn't like your situation. It was just, we had a funny month. So,
well, and again, we're not dying. We're not, in comparison,
but see, this is what we do is we say, well, it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad.
Right. But it was a time when your heart was really heavy. And I think we need to get really much better at that, because we don't ever say my heart is heavy. And it can be sometimes.
Yeah, it can. I don't know. It's a fine line.
Hopefully the Psalms will help me. The Psalms, you say, my heart is heavy, but praise the Lord. Mm-hmm. Right?
I just don't want to sit in it long. I think people sit in it too long.
But these are like 12 sentences.
Right. And he's right out of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Culturally, we sit in it too long. Let's sit in that therapy. Let's talk about it. At some point, let's just not.
Right.
I always go back to the Old Testament teaches you get 30 days to mourn a loss, a death.
Yeah.
God says you get 30 days to sit in sackcloth and ashes, and then it's time to get up and go. Yeah. So, I'm from the camp. Okay. We probably sit in it a lot too.
There's a lot of things like that the Bible talks about that I don't think we culturally live.
No.
They talk about, if you're not, you're
wipe the dust from your feet.
Wipe the dust off your feet, get moving. Right. So
we are definitely a culture of sitting and talking and ruminating.
To learn from this, because we don't get to ruminate for very long.
You're in it and you're out of it. You got it. That's a great point.
Each one of those takes us 4 minutes to read.
That's how we need to do Psalms. I'm in my pit, but I'm out quick because I'm going and doing. Yeah. So let's look at Psalms that way.
Yeah. I think we learned that.
Yeah. It really has been good.
So it's been
Here's some
super
things.
Challenging.
Let me read a few things I'm coming up in my Psalms.
Yeah,
these are
she
super
started
fun.
in 90. So
I started in 90, yeah. So jump in. So just some fun things. There's been a lot.
I love these.
But Psalms 92, I decided.
You should put this on your lap so we're not looking in the middle of your head.
So you're looking at my grace?
No, not so much that, but we can't see your face. So I know. I'm just
bad.
Our moms are watching these things.
Timmy, get your hair dyed. Seriously, girl, what is your problem? Get it together.
We have to be on.
I decided I'm going to memorize Psalms 92. It's the Psalms that I just love. I think it has a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And I spoke it into I spoke it into my phone so I can just kind of listen to it. Listen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to read it all, but it was a song for the Sabbath, which I thought was great. Talk kind of what your Sabbath.
One of the things that he mentioned, by the way, Mike, when we were talking about is, you should do that in your Sabbath. And I thought, he doesn't know what a good Sabbather you are. Mm-hmm. You're like a really good Sabbather. I don't know if that's a word.
I don't know if that's a word. My husband makes me a good Sabbather. But over the years of doing it, we've gotten better at it.
You're a really good Sabbather. So this is, I really think it's very cool that you're going to
So that's why I liked that it's this is kind of what you do for a Sabbath.
Yeah,
and so
great.
They laid out. So the whole first part was, it is good to give thanks to the Lord and sing praises, steadfast love, faithfulness, good music with a harp and alarm.
That's how we read
the psalm. Whatever. For you, Lord, made me glad in your works. So it starts out kind of all positive, which is great. Then it goes to, for behold, your enemies, O Lord, your enemies shall perish. So it's he was all is good. And then he's your enemies. Yeah. So you see this, just what we keep talking about. You get your horn exalted, which I was how do you exalt a horn? So I had to go do some of that.
That's a lot
of the wild ox. I had to kind of figure out the horn is a symbol of power. And then it says, you've poured over me fresh oil. And I was studying anointing and the
Oil's,
oil, like what's
serious.
that? And they say oil is empowerment and blessing. So the horn was a symbol of power, and then oil is empowerment. So there was this, kind of theme going, which was great. Enemies, lots of enemy stuff. Then it gets into our tree. This is where I was living, right? The righteous flourish like the palm tree, which I love. We're in Florida. We've got palm trees. We know how they flourish. And grow like the cedar of Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. All right, are you ready? New favorite verse. They still, meaning the trees, which are symbolic, I think, of us, they still bear fruit in old age.
Yes.
I did not know that verse was in there.
I didn't either.
I just think with everything we've been talking about since we started with this seed in us and your calling
It's
changing.
like our theme for the year.
It just kept coming up. And then it said,
Here we are.
They still bear fruit in old age.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't need
just
to bear much fruit, like biblically speaking, but there's lots of fruit.
Lots of fruit. Lots of fruit. Gray hairs bearing.
There's lots of fruit.
But I just love that it said they still bear fruit in old age, which how much have we talked about? The one, listener that was like, what do you do when your kids are? And we kept saying, you got a new calling, you have a new seed.
Right.
Like, there's no retirement in the Bible. All the stuff we keep talking about. This is saying they still bear fruit in old age. Like it's still going, which I loved that.
That's good. I really like that.
They're ever full of sap and green. So we're sappy.
We're
sappy. I just love that.
Now we read Psalms, so we are sappy.
We are sappy now. We're just crying. And then it says, 2. So they still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green. 2, so there's like a so, where this so, or 2, declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. I love that. I love that psalm. I really liked that psalm. So that was really fun.
I love that. That's
that
great
whole last
verse.
section. I was like, I'm just going to memorize it.
Yeah, that's
Psalms 94 was just as good. Blessed is the man, discipline. It talks about nations and rebuking, a lot of justice in Psalms 94. And then in the middle of it, it says, who rise up for me against the wicked? Who stands up for me against evildoers? So the Lord's asking, like, who's standing up for me? If the Lord had not been my help, my soul would soon have lived in the land of silence. Which, one of my favorite verses I always talk about are the righteous are as bold as lions. And this says, if I didn't have the Lord, I would have been silent. And so it was just like our boldness comes from the Lord, which I loved. And then
God
this
likes
verse,
that you debate.
Yes, he loves my debating. See, Mike Olson, you can go at it again. And then verse 19, I just loved. When the cares of my heart are many, which just hearing us talk about the last week, they weren't major things like we said, but they were cares of my heart.
They're not
which I loved the way that said
I
it. Made it feel like it didn't have to be a life and death situation. But when the cares of my heart are many, your consolation cheers my soul. Which is exactly what I think the Psalms does. It lets us bring voice to our cares, but then he is the consolation that cheers our soul.
What is that?
That is Psalms 94. Again, wait, you're seeing my hair again. Psalms 94:19. When the cares of my heart are many, your consolation, O Lord, cheer my soul.
Well, and I love that word cares.
Cares. It made it not seem so.
It's not.
Yep.
It's exactly what yours are. And the Lord knows what we care for, and the Lord cares for us. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a...
Sorry.
Don't. We have a new background that we're apparently too close. So I loved that. So kudos to the Psalms. It's been a better experience than I anticipated.
I would encourage you to join us. We're reading one a day. It doesn't be in order.
You don't have to start at 90. Like I did.
There's no order, apparently, to this. You can read it in any... It was sort of creative of you not to... I mean, there was a thought process, but, somebody could just jump in and start at 72
I'll be
if
at
they
96 tomorrow. If you hear this, I'm going into 96 tomorrow. So I'm going to try to do one a day on top of whatever I do. And, and I didn't spend a ton of time in it. Like, I kind of just read it. Like, I'm just kind of reading it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just reading it and just, like, getting the vibe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
happier with the Psalms than I thought. Yeah. So that's my takeaway.
This is hard for us.
It was hard. Psalms was tough.
It was... Goodness gracious, aren't we learning stuff? I mean, from each other for sure, but look what the Lord's doing in each of our hearts. Some the same, some differently.
Yeah,
so
it was good. It was good.
Nice.
So we are down to
We have one
more series.
4-week series. Yep.
And it's on hope, which will hopefully give us a breather from Psalms. Hopefully my next month won't be as cares.
No, we're going to be. I hope that doesn't mean like things are going to be hopeless.
No, we need a hope-filled month. So we're going to do hope. So we have 4 weeks of hope, and then we're going to take our little break.
Right. Then we're going to be off for a month in October. Right. And then we're going to
come back with a season 2.
Off in September. No, we're off in October.
We're off in October.
And we're going to come back with season 2 and sort of we're doing our retreat and we're going to make a little plan. There may be even a place far, far away that we might record from.
Yes. Some exciting things.
Be a surprise, right?
And
we might invite some Bible studies.
And I think we learned next year we'll take off August.
Yes. August was
because we recognize that everybody's on vacation. So we've watched just how many people haven't been engaged like they were. And I think August is just a tough month. So
for us in general.
Right.
Like
we're just out. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, and people are going in a whole bunch of different directions. So yeah, we're learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty happy.
Feeling good about it.
With how far we are. We're hoping to get ourselves on some more podcast platforms. Yep. I mean, we have a bunch of goals.
A plan.
Yeah, we have some goals and some accountability to it. So anyway, we appreciate everybody who has supported us in that. That's for sure.
And if there's anything that you guys as listeners think you'd like us to talk about as we're planning out season 2, we've got, again, we're recording a little bit ahead. So by the time you hear this, we're gonna be heading there, but it'd be great for us to
that would be fantastic.
What do you want to talk about? What do you want to engage with? Are there questions that you have or topics
more
that
of,
you have?
Less of.
Yeah, less of this, more of this.
No.
We would value that feedback.
Or if you have any speakers, any legends that you'd like to have join us, because that's always a struggle.
If you want to come do another live one,
we'd love to know that. Yep.
Yeah.
You'd like us to come to your Bible study because that's sort of an easy
way to go. Yeah. We talked about
to get a group together without too much planning. So anyway, I think
we're excited. We're going to be heading into
season 2. Here we are back to school. I'm sort of happy to get my life back.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I will. Like having kids home and running around and it just gets me out of my routine and I'm like gained weight and I'm like out of like my exercise routine, my food routine, my studying routine.
And I'm just heading into it. We've recorded these ahead because I'm out. I'm out all next week. I come back for like 2 days and then I'm out again.
Where are you going?
So next week I'm in Dallas for Life.
Oh, yeah.
And then I come back for a few days and then Sean and I are celebrating our 30th.
That's right.
We're in I feel like I'm just heading into my crazy.
Yeah.
Which is why we've had to record ahead a little bit. Yeah. So although I'm excited about going.
I'm super
excited.
Things.
Yeah. But
for me, I think it's more like routine and just my house and whatever. Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
So anyway, well, cheers.
Right. 21
in the books.